All right, everybody. Today I'm going to do a quick little video on carrying a gun for hiking, or rather choosing a gun to carry while hiking. I'm not going to get too much into whether you should or shouldn't. I think that's a personal decision. That there's plenty of people out there that don't want to carry a gun when hiking, whether for the weight, whether they're not comfortable with firearms, whether they think they don't need one. And that's cool. You know, that's their decision. I have decided that I am going to carry one while I'm out. I'm going hiking up in Vermont. Next Wednesday, we're leaving. So we're going to be hiking over the Labor Day holiday. Me, my brother, and my brother-in-law. So my brother lives up there. I've probably been up there for about 6 years or so, and I've actually never been up there to see him. So we kind of planned this brother's trip to go hiking for a few days, which is going to be a kick in the gut because I've let myself get out of shape the last 2 years. I'm probably carrying an extra 40 pounds, which, you know, this is kind of a little kick in the butt. This is going to get me back in the gym, I'm sure, because it's going to be a gut check for sure. But either way, I think it's going to be really fun, and I'm excited to go. Both my brother and brother-in-law are Pro 2A. My brother-in-law doesn't have any firearms. He has, you know, a bunch of little rugrats running around. Him and my sister just aren't comfortable with any in the house. My brother does actually a 9mm that I transferred over to him legally, and he's probably not going to bring his because I decided to bring one. And again, this really isn't a situation of being super paranoid. I'm going to go ahead and put one here while I'm talking so we've got it. This isn't a situation of being super paranoid or anything. It's just, I'm comfortable with guns. I've carried one for a little while. I have one in my truck, one in my bedroom, of course. And, it's something I'm bringing some gear, so I'm bringing this with me. Do I think I'll need it? Highly unlikely, and God, I hope not. But why not have it with me if it's something that I'm totally comfortable doing? And as long as you do it in a safe manner, I don't really see the point. Unless you're going super ultra light like some of these people that get out there and just blaze through that trail. That's absolutely not what we're doing. We're on a very, very loose schedule. I don't even think my brother has figured out where we're starting or finishing yet. We're just going to kind of go out there, have fun, enjoy the sights, enjoy the cool weather. I'm in Florida and my brother-in-law's in Georgia, so we can't wait to get up there because it is blazing hot in the summer down here. So anyway, that's kind of a little bit of background of what we're doing and my decision to carry. It really wasn't that big of a decision for me. Sure, I'll take one. I am going to be flying with it. There's plenty of videos out there on how to do it legally. I have a little Pelican case. I'm going to put it in the Pelican case. I'm going to put a lock on the Pelican case. They are not supposed to be, according to everything I've read, TSA locks. They're supposed to be locks only you can get into and you have the key for. Put it in your check badge. You declare it at the airport. They check out some stuff or whatever, and you're good to go. And of course, I'm flying to Vermont. Their gun laws, they used to not have any, but now they do have a magazine restriction. But I don't know a whole lot. I haven't checked into it much. I think it's a 10-round restriction. So the gun you're seeing on the table right now, a Glock 19, this is just kind of a general representation of a gun of this size and type, a striker-fired polymer gun. It's obviously unloaded. That is very popular and a lot of people would consider for taking on a hike. It is relatively light for the size. It has really good capacity at 15. And honestly, until I start making this video, I didn't even think of the fact that I wouldn't take this because I don't know a lot about their magazine restriction law. I don't know if it's grandfathered in or if out of state you can't bring it in or if you just can't buy them. I really don't know because I don't live there. So that would kind of take this one out for me unless I were to buy a 10-round magazine, which would be silly because then I'm carrying a big gun with less capacity, so I wouldn't. But in other states, maybe this is an option for you or other locations you might go hiking. It's good, it's durable. I'm going to kind of assume that maybe some new people will click on this who aren't very familiar with firearms or pistols or anything like that. Glock's kind of world-renowned for their reliability. They're very simple, fairly ugly, if you want to be honest, but extremely reliable, dependable. They do have safeties in them, as most, striker-fired pistols do, such as drop safeties. So if you were to drop this, there's basically a firing pin block in here. So the firing pin is what hits the bullet, goes bang. If you were to drop this, when the trigger's not depressed, meaning when you're not pulling the trigger, that firing pin block is is in the way of the striker. So if you were to drop it, boom, and it hits the ground, it's not going to go off because the firing pin block is going to stop it. And then the trigger, you'll see here, this little part sticking out. If that's not depressed, you see the little, it's kind of a little hard, I don't have the best lighting here, but it doesn't allow it, if you don't depress that middle part, to fire, or the trigger to go back. And what that is that's more of an inertia safety. If you were to drop the gun and the inertia of the gun falling and hitting the ground can't depress the trigger, so it can't move the striker block, so it can't fire. Therefore, so these are you know, safe guns, as safe as a firearm can be. The safety's between your head. I'm sure most of you know that. But again, it's just a little bit bigger. Here's the firing pin block. Let me see if I. So when you pull the trigger, just real quick, why not? I got it out. This part right here comes back. You'll see it kind of lines up with that. And as you pull the trigger, it's going to depress the firing pin block. That pushes the block out of the way, allows the striker to go forward. So anyway, that's kind of a quick rundown of a Glock 19. If it's something you're interested in, there's a million videos out there of it. For me, too big, too bulky. I don't really feel I need that much ammo with me, so it's just not really in the running for what I'm doing. Next, a baby version of that, the Glock 43, which is also 9mm, also unloaded, same safety features. This one has 6 rounds in the magazine, and you can put 1 in the chamber, so you've got a total of 7. So 7 rounds of 9mm, much more compact package, thinner, smaller in pretty much every way. Again, extremely dependable, very reliable pistol. I'm not taking this one with me. Now this is pretty much my main everyday carry, meaning this is the gun I carry every day. I don't carry it on body all the time every day. Most of the time it's in my center console just because of the job that I have. It's just not too feasible for me. But, you know, I trust it with my life, but for where I'm going to be, I kind of wanted a bigger caliber. If, you know, a 9mm just wasn't something with the things you might run into up there. There are bear, there are moose. Do I think I'm going to get attacked by a bear or a moose? No. I'm probably more likely to get struck by lightning, but people get struck by lightning every day. So if I'm going, basically the gist of this is, if I'm going to take the time and go through the effort of bringing something and flying with it, then it needs to be able to suit any task at hand that I might run into. So that kind of took out the Glock 43. So then we get into another pistol. We'll switch over to the revolvers. This is a Ruger LCRX. Just the X means it's got an external hammer, unloaded. This is a 5-shot 38 special, 38 plus P, lightweight revolver. So this section here is a polymer, which is like basically a fancy word for a durable plastic. It's got a metal sleeve in the barrel. Heck of a gun. This is another one that I carry. I'd say next to the Glock 43, this one's probably the second most popular for me to carry. But then I go back to the same thing with the 43 or the 19, 38 special. Even at plus P, I mean, you know, it's a moving round. It's getting out there, but I don't feel as comfortable with that as I would a 357. So this one's kind of out of the running. However, like I said, somebody hiking in different areas, maybe Florida, Georgia, God help you. I'm sure it's going to be in the winter if you take on that task. But this may be something you're more interested in. And one of the things with the 38s is you can get snake shot, rat shot rounds for the 38s that are extremely effective. I have tried them. My dad had them in as long as I can remember growing up. He always had some snake shots for his 38. And basically what that is, it's like a mini shotgun shell. So you got little BBs in there. So when you shoot it, you get a spread. It's for shooting rats or snakes if you're down here in Florida. So that's another option for the 38. Now they do make them for the 9mm as well. I prefer the 38 ones because you know, it's just when you have an auto feeder and you're putting in kind of a boutique round like that, I prefer a revolver where you're not counting on the gun to eject the round and put a new one in. Just for me, the revolver one's a better choice. So I like the 38 rat shot. 38, I don't even know if they make it a 357. I think that would be beyond overkill. You just don't need that much power with a rat shot. So there's some positives and negatives of the Ruger LCRX 38 Special Plus P. Of course, Smith & Wesson makes a version of this as well. Next, we're going to go to a 357. It might be in the running for some people. This is a full-size 357 that does shoot 38 and 38 plus P, obviously. This is the Smith & Wesson 686 Plus. This is a 7-shot 357. By far the favorite 357, my favorite 357 I've ever had. It's a tank. Oh my God, is this thing a tank? And it weighs about as much as a tank. It's a beast. If you're going on a short hike, maybe a day hike and an overnight deal, or you're just going camping, I think this would be numero uno. You know, this thing's perfect. The 7 shots at 357, you can shoot it accurately. It's not too bad to shoot because of the weight of the gun. These are great grips that come with it. The Hogue style rubber grips makes it easier to control the recoil. If you're kind of a new shooter and you don't shoot a lot, a 357 does have some sting to it, but it's not something that you're not going to be able to deal with. Truly, especially if you're in fear of your life or anything like that. The adrenaline, it's not going to be a big deal. So for me, again, far too heavy. We're going for about 3 to 4 days. 3 nights, 3 to 4 days, something like that. Like I said, we pretty lax on the plans, kind of see what happens. But anyway, for hiking that much, there's no way I'm carrying this thing. It's just way too heavy. Favorite revolver or not, it's just too heavy. So what I settled on was a Smith & Wesson model 360 PD M&P. So this is a lightweight revolver, kind of like the Ruger, but instead of having polymer here, it's a scandium frame. If you look in here with the Ruger, I'm going to kind of put one on top of the other. Frame size, they're really the same. There's different materials in there, but they're really the same size. And weight is I have an extended grip on here. It comes down a little bit. And this is a smaller aftermarket grip because, again, this is a carry gun. 2 fingers on a 38 is fine for me. So you're really dealing with kind of the same size frame and same type of gun. The only difference is, or the main difference is, I should say, this one is rated for 357. 5 shots of 357. In this gun, is an absolute bruiser. I went over it in another video, and if you ever pull the trigger on this thing with 357, you're hip deep in it because it's painful. It's awful. But it certainly gets the job done. It's reliable. This does have a 3-inch barrel as opposed to the snubby on the Ruger. And what that does is that does allow for better accuracy, especially for me. I don't know if that means the gun's inherently more accurate or just it's easy. It's probably going to be a little more accurate, obviously, inherently, but it's easier to aim and get a side acquisition with a longer barrel. So the snub nose, like I said, is kind of more of an up close and personal. You're in trouble 38. This one, because of where we're going and what we're doing, I just shoot it a little better at distance, and by distance I mean anything beyond 7 yards, 7, 10, maybe even 12 yards. This is going to be a much better option. And I'm not really sacrificing much on weight. So this is kind of what I decided to go with. And out of the 3 revolvers I showed you, this is my least favorite. I don't really like the trigger on it. It's very, let's see here. It's very heavy in the beginning. It's not a very good trigger by Smith & Wesson, at least on this particular pistol. But again, it kind of fits the need that I have. So, with this one, I'm going to be carrying it with this holster. This is an outside the waistband leather holster by, who knows, I have no idea who made this. I traded for this pistol another revolver that I had specifically for this hike. So pretty much the reason I like this holster is it is an outside the waistband for hiking. You're allowed to open carry in Vermont. And then it's got the clip, like a monkey doing a football here. There we go. And what this does is that kind of covers the hammer, helps protect it from anything getting, as heavy as this trigger is, you probably, I'm being facetious, probably don't even need a holster. It's impossible to pull this thing on accident. But covers the trigger guard and gets the job done. I definitely tried it out, worked with it for a little bit. It's good, it's comfortable, does what it's supposed to. The gun's not going to fall out because of the strap on the back. It's not a custom holster, where you can get some that'll actually come in here, just much better holsters. This is a little flimsy, but it'll get the job done. So that's what I'm kind of planning to take. Now, also, I'm not going to go over a full gear review. Actually, I'm jumping around. Let me get back to it. What I'll do is after this hike is done, I'm going to probably do a little video of what I think about this. Have I changed my mind? Did I decide I am never taking that thing again? It was a pain in the butt. Or do I say I took it, but it spent all its life in the backpack. I decided not to keep it on my hip. I don't know. You know, I haven't been hiking since I was 17 years old. I'm now 39. So, you know, I'll kind of give an update and let you know how that went. But that's my decision. This is the gun. I'm going to carry it. If you don't like it, that's cool. Everybody can have their own opinions. Now, next, for people who maybe other things that are kind of related, I do more gun videos. So kind of related to that is I also am taking a pocket knife or a knife with me because I'm going hiking. So some of the options I have in my house, buck knife. I'm sure you've seen these. Everybody's dad or grandpa had one. Gotta be careful because it's sharp. It's a beautiful gun, beautiful knife. Not a gun, but a knife. Beautiful. Extremely sharp buck knife. Am I going to take this? No, it's too big and too heavy. But again, if you're camping or you're just going on like a day hike or something, yeah, sure. You know, knock yourself out. Got a little belt loop here. You know, the weight and stuff's not going to be as vital. This thing also is a tank. I would recommend it. It's a phenomenal knife. But I'm not carrying it on a 4-day hike. Next, multi-tool. You know, I love multi-tools. I can hardly get enough of them. This is the Leatherman. If you're deciding between a Leatherman with this black coating and the stainless steel Leatherman, get the stainless steel. Maybe some people out there like this black oxide coating. I think it is crap. It gets off on you, and I've literally cleaned the heck out of this thing to get all the residue off. It's just, I don't like it. It's chalky feeling. It rubs off. I think it's terrible for everyday use. I understand they did this because the military was looking for a more resistant finish, as far as I read. But no thanks. I'll pass. Stainless next time. So the multi-tool, I use it for a million things. I love them. Am I going to take this? No, I decided not to. Why? Again, it goes down to weight and size. This thing's pretty heavy. And you may say, oh, it's not that heavy. I carry it, you know, all the time. Well, on a 4-day hike, you've got to make sacrifices somewhere. And, you know, I'm cutting some weight off on the pistol. I'm cutting some weight off on the knife and other items. Because, you know, I'm not out to set speed records, but I do want to be conscious of what I'm going to carry. So, again, love it. Leathermans are awesome. I'm not taking this one. This is a Kershaw. See right there? Boom, boom, boom. Walmart special. Some of theirs are made in the U.S. This one's made in China. It's just a cheap, I don't know, $30 knife. I like it. I like these assisted opening knives. Boom, and it's open. You know, I've had really good luck with Kershaws, honestly. The reason I like this one because it is relatively inexpensive, and I have a tendency to have knives fall out of my pockets, especially Spyderco Delica 4s. Excuse me. I've had 3 of those things fall out of my pockets. I ain't buying another one because they're not cheap. But this gets the job done. And other Kershaws with the assisted opening. I'm not taking this one again because it's a little bit bulky. Good knife, but a little bit bulky and heavy. What I decided to go with was this guy right here. This is a little buck knife. As you see, very minimalist as far as the materials. A carbon fiber right here. It's extremely sharp, and it's also extremely light. This isn't one I carry every day because a lot of times when I'm cutting stuff, I'll pull it out of my pocket and open it. And this one's a little bit more difficult to do due to the lack of materials. Your thumbs are always real close to the blade, or these fingers back here, so even closing it. Probably not the best knife for an everyday carry, I don't think. But for hiking, again, super lightweight. It's got a good lockup, nice and sturdy. It's sharp. It's got a little carabiner style clip here so I can clip it onto the backpack. So this is a winner. I'm definitely going to take this one, not even close. Finally, flashlights. So, for smaller flashlights, this is one I have. It's a mag light. I can't remember what the... Oh, there it is. Look at that. If you read, you get the answer. MagTech LED. It's an aluminum body. Sturdy, durable light. This is what I keep in my nightstand. I've never changed the batteries on it, and it still works. So much so that I'm going to have to open it to even see what batteries it takes because I don't remember. Is this? Oh, the CR123s, a couple of those. It does have a O-ring on it, so it's water resistant. I really like this light, actually. The only thing I don't like about it, which I'm not sure if you can change, hang on, I think it's a beast to get in there, is the, hold on, off camera, is the function of the tail cap button, turning it on. So basically what you have is, a lot of lights you'll have you push it and it's on, and you hold it and it's temporary. This one, if you push it, it flashes. If you hold it, it's temporary. The way you turn it on permanently is double click. That's kind of weird. It almost backwards for most of the ones I have. I don't mind it for a nightstand light because honestly, you know, that's what I'm gonna do if I'm out checking something out. So I kind of prefer that actually for a nightstand light, which is why it's been in there for so long. Again, this one's a little bigger and bulkier, so I'm not gonna take it, but I certainly wouldn't begrudge anybody that did. It's a sturdy light. I'm a big fan. Now to get into the smaller lights, the lighter lights we shall say, this is an Olight SR1 baton. I've had this one for quite a while. They've gotten extremely popular for good reason. They're amazing lights. I have a few of the Olights. This one will go up to, hang on, let me get it to her. I was probably driving the camera crazy. Double. So this will actually get to 900 lumens. This little teeny guy right here. But it does suck the battery down pretty good. So I'm not going to take this. It's a rechargeable. Basically because for my handheld, I'd rather have a little bit more battery life. My brother's taking this exact one. So, you know, if you're looking for a small, light, bright light, this is it. Go get it. I mean, I think they're like, with the battery, the light, and the charger, I think you can get them for like 60 bucks. It is money well spent. I use this all the time. It stays by my front door, and I use it all the time. So what I decided to go with is a Streamlight ProTac 1L. This takes either a AA or a CR123. A little bit lighter than the Mag, actually quite a bit lighter than the Mag light. This one's just got the rear tail cap. You can push and do temporary, or just push in a little harder and it clicks and it's constant on. I don't remember what the lumens are on this, but it's plenty bright enough. It's got good battery life, and I keep one in my car at all times and one in my laptop bag at all times. Big fan of these. These also are like 40, 50 bucks, something like that. Water resistant. They can take an absolute beating. So that's why I'm taking this. I'm not taking any cheap lights because I'm not easy on stuff. And also when you're hiking, I'm a little bit clumsy. I tend to drop things. So probably going to drop it, step on it, knock it around in the bag. So I do want something that's very dependable and high quality, and that's why I'm only bringing out those types of lights. Then for a headlamp, I am taking an Olight. This is the H1 Nova, excuse me. You can take the light portion out of here if you need to. And this one's got the top. It'll go up. Hang on, let me get to turbo. There we go. So again, plenty of light. I think this one's, I don't know, 800 lumens or something like that. But this one's cool because you can take it out of here if you want to do it as a handheld. Very comfortable. This back here, you know, everything's nice and soft. This one's extremely comfortable. So this will be my headlamp that I'm taking. So that's kind of the gear that I'm taking with me. I'm not going to go into everything I'm packing in the bag. This isn't really a hiking channel. However, I would like to make a review after the fact. After I'm on, kind of talk about some of the stuff I used, stuff that worked, stuff that didn't work. For people that are a little bit more novice like me, like I said, I've only been on one hike back when I was 17, but I think it's gonna be cool. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun, and I'd like to hear other people's tips on things that they bring when they're hiking. Again, this kind of more of a gun-centered channel, so maybe some of that information, or maybe some knives or flashlights or things like that that you've taken, or any gear really that's either worked for you and that has massively let you down, so I can avoid it. But anyway, that's kind of the video. So I look forward to every response, and have a good day.